Hello and welcome as we are entering into the 28th day of December 2020. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and of the like, yeah, that's within each his own risk and their own reward. In this video, Bitcoin against the dollar, Theta as well as Theta Fuel against the Bitcoin, silver against the US dollar as well, as it is up to start this week. And let's begin. And a phenomenal move from this 10,000 level. That's getting close to 3xing it now, as it needs to just get a little north of 30,000 for a 3x move. It's already done better than a 2.5x move. And just a fantastic run it's been having this year. The year closed last year that at 7,168. Well, that's now well north of a 3x move at this stage. So a very, very good year for that of Bitcoin. And then on the monthly term time frame, just getting above the level of previous resistance in 2017. And it's only the second month from the excitation of the 18 average of highs. Excitation, is it extended from the 18 average? Of course. Is it overextended? Well, I don't think so. Not in this time frame. On the weekly time frame, yeah, maybe you can say a case that's a little overextended here. And the one thing about little is I still haven't seen this big volume coming in. Like, where is it yet? It's just been consistent. That's something I was looking at earlier this morning, and I decided, no, I'm not going to sell. I was thinking, do I sell my Bitcoin? Do I sell my Litecoin? Like, I'll add Litecoin to this video as well, too. So I wanted to do a video on that because it did hit big resistance last night. But as the hourly term time frame goes, it got up to this high this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. And we have been seeing some lower lows breaking down below the 18 average. However, now it's made a move up to the highs in here, as we can see at this stage. Very short term, whatever this happens to be right now here to this low is the very, very big point. So if you're looking at this on a short-term analysis, if you see weakness on the 68-point level or high divided by a low to the root of 0.382, multiply the low if you see weakness in around that area, which is right now at about 26.4. Then you'd be stating, okay, yeah, this is most likely going to be making a leg below this. But we also got Fibonacci from this low to this high. So I can calculate that just because I know how to do so. So I'm going to do it. The current all-time high is in at 28,378. And the low, we can see it comes in at the 1600 Eastern time zone stamp, which is New York's time and Toronto. Its low is 25,770. Low at 25,000. That's cool to say. So the first two key numbers, the 23.6 and the 38.2. So 26,363, which, yeah, well above that. So let's just take a look at how this on the 5-minute time frame. Roughly in this. A large pierce above that line, as it was resisted it here at this point for a few times, and then it got above it at 1920 hours, and it's had a nice run thus far. 38.2% level comes in at 26,737. Well, that was an interesting situation there. Interesting as in when it came up to this level here, again, it was a large pierce above the 23.6 at first. And then the 1700 10-hour stamp of resistance established was noticeably below that level, albeit close. And then from 1935 all the way up to 2000 hours, which is 20 minutes ago as I'm doing this, support where resistance is where I was looking to find resistance. And it did resist it for one period here, the 1920 and the 1925 stamp. But that was it. So very little resistance amongst the key fib, and then it's just had a nice little breakout above. Next key level is 27,352, which it has. That's like a gimme. That's gonna make it. It's like soon. That's just how it goes. So it's gonna come up to 27, and it's gonna probably pierce extra too. So like 27,360 plus. And the next key level to that would be 27,740. If you see it can do well holding and staying above this number, if you can see large acceleration from this point, then that gives you good reason to not believe this move, thus be it a failed breakdown. And well, the ultimate failed breakdown, of course, would be occurring with a break of this support. We can see just by looking at it from this level in here, how you support in here, and then you break down below that level, establish a good low, you resist it, and then amongst this high to this low, it has a very good higher low retracement, gets above this point in here, and it's had a good run thus far. So therefore, that is the Bitcoin analysis. Let's look next at Litecoin. So therefore, let's look against the Bitcoin first at 4.8% the price of Bitcoin right now. Showing a lot of these choppy movements. Even here, just looking at the 15-minute time frame, there's an interesting failed breakout scenario. There you can see it live right now, where it's breaking. Well, I'm seeing it live at this point, but you're seeing at 1900 hours how it's breaking out. Now it's in there, so you're getting signs. Maybe it can come down here, kind of deal. And on the daily term time frame, just these moves. I mean, you compare these moves compared to the ones before, just a lot more. I don't know what words to use, violent, and quite frankly, violence over tame as far as its movements is what I look for as it is. But yeah, that's that against the blah, 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 that against the Bitcoin. But against the dollar, hit the 137 key level today. Barely piercing extra. How do you do? Why does it? I don't know. The high in today's session, $139.30, Fibonacci level 136.61, pacing above it by $3.30, or like 2.5% or something. Yeah, nothing. Practically nothing, but you could barely tell it goes above it. So how are we looking at this in the short term? It's had multiple tests within this area. It first came up to it at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then it earlier came up at 9 o'clock. And then it started to go down at 11, and still within the sideways consolidation range. It's an area where we're supposed to find resistance. Now, what question mark? We'll get the answer soon. For now, established has been supported between 126 and 2/3 down to 122. And resistance has already been the key level where I basically thought it was going to be going. A very short-term Fibonacci, I'm not going to calculate, would be from this low here, the 1500 stamp. But you can even count it from 68.25. I mean, that's just when Fibonacci works perfect like this. You could literally say, well, what will the key numbers between this range be? Well, put 68.25 as your low, and 136.61 is your high. So there's 13,661 pennies to 6,825. So if you're looking for like short-term levels, there you go, the four in between. We'll just see how well it's working. I'm looking at these for the first time. How has 116 been playing on the short-term time frame? Have we even hit that number yet? No, we haven't. No. I mean, I guess that would be the next level of support, though. I think if this level breaks down, I would assume that the 0.85% level would be pretty much be somewhere around in here, like 125, 126 even. So key levels, there you go. Do what you will with these numbers as far as what you want to do with it. I think that they'd be interesting, to say the least. And let's now move on to Theta next. Theta Fuel first. Theta Fuel in at 4.85% gain since over the last 1 hour and 30 minutes. I inserted some Fibonacci lines in earlier today. I actually did a video, and I should have known better because I don't know what went on with my computer settings with my Cam Studio, but it was like they all defaulted, set it to like its default. And I had made a 30-minute, 25-minute video, which could not work on its default settings. Now I made it so that it can work, and I'm still not at 10 minutes, but I'm close to it. 9 minutes and 39 seconds. But as it goes, these are the key Fibonacci levels, 38 and 61% from this low to this high. Yeah, if this thing can hold and stay above this, and this is not a log scale. So you get a much nicer looking chart. If you go to I'm not going to do it in this one. If you go to Coin Market Cap and you take a look at things on a log scale or anything that has got a proper log scale within it, then things would look a lot different. But as this level of resistance here near the 100 Satoshi mark, ever since it dropped in this range here, May 28th, this is practically it's traded its entirety within. It has a few small failed breakouts here in August and again here, and barely trying to break down below it once in November for an extended period of time, albeit though. So now it's a situation where it's gotten noticeably above it. Can it hold and stay within this range area? Of course, I don't mind it going below it, maybe supporting 80 something change, but if it can do that, then that would be just a beautiful setup. But the bottom line on this move, if this thing, the next level of resistance breaking above here, I think around 200 or something is what I calculated before. Then around would be a key level 175. And then you got key level like 260. And then we'll be looking at, I calculated before, around 750 to 1,000, I think would be key resistance in the Satoshi field, getting north above that. Next up, Theta against the Bitcoin, up 3.76% since in the last 1 hour and 27 minutes. And this is giving me interesting signs. It's a very beautiful now either or situation on the short-term time frame that I want to analyze. So let's go do it. Before we do short-term, within the daily, of course, just a fantastic run this price has had since it got going like almost a year ago in April. Here's a spot 11.95 Satoshi way back when, buying it at like a dime or 12 cents, 8 cents. How do you do? Now it's well north of $1. With that being said, beautiful move, great correction, extending the resistance, and another beautiful correction. Still hasn't got up to this high yet. But kilo here, pretty much around 1,000. Then we got kilo at 21.50. Then we got kilo at 34.26. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing a kilo at 4,600 if it's going to do anything like that. Now, if it doesn't, just keep on going high. I like to see it hold and stay above it, just like it hold and stayed above 34.26. Yes, it went down to 31.11. But maybe this thing goes down, falls down to 4,200, stays there for a bit, then goes higher. I'm fine with that. But is it going to just take off now? Question mark. Because as I've been stating in here, and it really pierced north above us nicely, but this is a now what situation, especially because it hit that dollar number pretty much perfect. Piercing a little less on the dollar number. $1.74 or so hit. Although I don't remember what number I calculated, so I can't even say that. I just knew it was around $1.75. So therefore, let's take a look at this on the shorter term. Do we see anything stating that this thing is ready to go back higher in the 4 hour? Maybe, I don't know. Now what situation? Question mark. From this area here, which is December 21st, it breaks out nicely at 1500 hour stamp. Establishes high at almost 5K or near 5K and supports the 18 lows. Fantastic. Then we have exitation at the 15 hour stamp on December 24th. And then establishing the next high at Fibonacci at 55.29, correcting amongst the 18 average of highs and breaking above it its next and first attempt on the on his first test of established resistance, meaning it comes up here after its first correction. So it gets above it and it has a phenomenal move well north of the key Fibonacci line. But amongst doing so, no big deal on the failing to support on the 18 lows here, because when you have a phenomenal move, daily chart, we're just supporting the highs and it can still support the lows there. But as it goes, and we're going to see this more clearly on the 1 hour, is we have a spot where we didn't support here amongst the 4. It resisted at the very next period on the 3 stamp, and we see it resisting it again. Nor did the price action come to 4,600. It'll be much more clearer here. Let's show it. Okay. So therefore, as it hits this level, it comes down to this big level of support, and it resisted instead at the 5 hour stamp. And as it's breaking down within the 6, this is giving us indication that price action is en route to hit the next key level. Next key level, because it usually pierces extra, is below 4,599. Not even close. But When I see a spot like that, it is one of two things. It is either that of on the bearish level, that is, it goes down, establishes a key level of support north south of where the support here is. Then it comes and resists the next level of key support, previous support, which is what we would be seeing here. Then as it's going down, it would break down below here. Okay, now we're going to go to like 44 something or 45 low change probably. That's the bearish level. On the bullish level, failed breakdown. Because the statement was made on the 6th stamp, and it was looking like it was going to do it on this 13th stamp today. And I was waiting for it. I was hoping for it as well today. It didn't happen. Watching my NFL football and hoping. I've only had one buyback on my Theta. I bought some right around here in the morning somewhere. I was up early. It could have been like 7, 8. So probably around, but whatever. I think it was, you know what? It was around 52, and I was hoping it was probably this stamp right here on the 7 a.m. stamp. I was hoping to get like 51 change, and I got 52 on my buy. But that was my first buyback from all of the selling. And if this is a failed move, then what the signs here like this is you get back to this little area. You can see it went to above the 18. And if you see this getting north of fib, holding 18 lows, holding where we came from, 5,400 is where it came from. That's that fantastic. Okay, giving us the signal signs that the fast move is the next step on most occasions. Oftentimes from a failed move will result in a fast move. I like to use concise move, which can oftentimes be fast, in the opposite direction. I haven't looked at the 15, but oh wow, that looks nice. Attempt here failed. But it came back to the band and eek. Then attempt here failed. Then it came back to the band. Okay, success. Then it tried to break out here a little bit, still below the high. Eek, no. Then we break down below the 18. But this is magnificent here. Yeah, the statement 1345. It's telling me, and I knew it was supposed to, and I wanted to buy lower. I already said that already, but this is telling me here it's supposed to break down. No. Then it gets above the 18 highs here on the 1630 stamp. Successfully supports, retests, holds and stays within the 18, and then having another opportunity. This is like opportunity number 3, at least since in here. And I like now that it's on period number 3 of holding amongst this Fibonacci from this point. 11 minutes and 14 seconds left in 15, so we're not quite a third of the way through. So the meat of the time is just barely coming in, but the 18 average starting to rise, starting to hold. Ideally, in a spot like this, I'd like to see 2-3 more periods, like another 30-45 minutes, where it doesn't go below 53.43, but it neither goes above this high either. And then as I see it breaking that high, and I see it like on the early stages of like 56.35, I know it's going down. Actually, it's going up. What's going down is the shorts. And all the shorts hopes that this thing is going to go down. That's Theta. Let's now go to, and I haven't even looked at it today, so I just presume it's going to look good. Silver. And I was, this morning, when I was looking at it this morning, I was like, man, the setup looks good too. So I'm not surprised that's up 3% here. Gold's up 0.8%. Let's take a look at gold first, and then we'll look at silver. On the daily term time frame, I mean, this is just a powerful setup here. I mean, this is what I kind of wonder. I mean, the whole book is when you see it breaking above here, like 1922, it's a good long spot. But, I mean, it's cheaper to buy it at 1898 than it's 1922. And to me, I'm seeing excitation right now. I'm fully expecting a high probability that when I'm having lunch on Monday, that the gold price has been at some point north of 1922 or so. It's going to go up another $24, another 1 point something percent. I'm pretty confident with that. We'll see if it happens or not, but we'll see. That's all I'm going to look for gold for now, but silver's up 3 though, which means the ratio is going down. Like there's a 2% move on the ratio. Same type of setup here. It's just a fantastic setup at that. There's a lot of like explosive signals of like, why didn't $20.86 get tested? That's usually it does in that spot. What a great short setup here, November 27th and 28th. that was a terrible play. That's what the market was telling me. And then this amazing, but the signs were there through this entire December time frame that this was a failed move. Now, whether you want to say the fast move from this has already happened, it probably already has, but how has it reacted from the top of this fast move on the solstice, December 21st? Which has a high, and I'm going to do some fun with Fib. I want to use a different exchange when I do this, though, and I haven't done it yet. I'm going to look at the Fibonacci from this high to this low. But I'm going to go to like XAG USD chart after this to do it. But you come up to this level, right back down the 18 average of highs, and now it's breaking out. It's doing, it to me looks as if we're ready to be heading towards, in the next 2-3 days, if not even today, tomorrow. Well, today, tomorrow will be Monday, Tuesday. For 28 decent change, like 28.30, 28.40, 60 kind of deal. See if it happens or not. But off to a good start so far. So let's just take a look at this on. I want to put some Fibonacci lines in just because I know how. And I already did this a long time ago. I mean, obviously I'm just taking a random one. What do these lines have anyway? Is this Fibonacci upside? That's what it looks like. What is this? I'm not going to draw over these. Yeah, this is Fibonacci upside. Okay. And why didn't this test the 3142 as supposed to? And that tells you that this is a successful correction. And in a situation like this, when I'll call it a price failure, especially when you're on the bias that it's probably going to either hit or be microscopically away from it or pierce extra. Of course, not doing none of those. When a situation like that happens on a key level, and these levels on this fib have been just that from the outset, have been remarkably well, that is, then that tells me that we're probably going to be fast explosion to the next level. So I think on an excitation breaking north of 30, that this is going to probably, just even looking at this, is going to concisely go to 50. But I'm here to look at short-term analysis. So let me just take a look at another one. Like, I don't know what this global prime is going to look like now. Daily chart, not bad. This is where the big one is hourly. That'll work. What's up with this low here? This low is priced in at 24 high change. I gotta use the 2506 in a spot like that. It just too much consolidation at that price point. So 2506 would be my low. And my high will be that of 2741. This is where, if you do linear and exponential, you practically get the exact same numbers for the most part. So, I mean, this will just work the same. It's just high divided by low here. That's 235 basis points. That's not even 10%. That's like 1.09 or something like that. That's such a small number. 23.6 comes in at $25.60. Oh, I mean, let's see. How did 25.60 react in here? It resisted it here at 5 o'clock and then stabilized for quite a long, significant time. I added extra effects, even though the extra effects were stupid. Just because it was a long. It wasn't that long, but it was not short either. Next key level was 25.93. Was. That's odd. It's about time I see some of it. And here's the kicker. I can reduce the Fibonacci down to here. And I might get a better result. 24.94 on this one. 24.95 even. That makes the fib level now 25.86. And I don't think that makes any difference here. No, yeah, it does. 25.89, piercing extra 3 cents. Oh, okay. So, and that's one times when you're wondering about two different numbers. Which ones look better so far? Well, this one looks better. So 2590, that's been broken. And it broke it on the gap open today. So the first level I'm looking for is 26 and 4/9. Well, I don't know how. I guess I'll see what the 1 minute chart looks like on this. Let's just see how 26.44 looks. One minute term time, it just destroyed that level. Okay. Just a phenomenal move. So that's a concise move to next key level is 26.81. Probably already hit that already. It was just luck. No, it hasn't hit it yet. 26.75. I guess this move's not over yet. Yeah, I mean, that's... Didn't support it. Interesting. Okay. This volume, I wonder if I should... Is there anything about this volume? I mean, this is like a whatever exchange. But this thing could have some potential for a fantastic week, fantastic day. I don't know. Mathematically on the options games, I'm curious about it. So let me take a look at it. And let's just see what we got here for maybe this Friday. I mean, not like I'm playing these, but I'm just curious to see and talk about risk-reward management, which to me is always job number one. Okay, I see December 2020. Well, is that December 31st? Yeah, expires December 31st. What day is 31st? Now New Year's Eve. That would be Thursday. Okay. So they got the... Let me just take a look at where... Would these be live prices? But... No, it wouldn't be. So let's just assume that I think this is going to go up really well. So if it has a 10+% gain, well, even first of all, even have you seen on the weekend, if you, and I was what would it get for like a $26 call option? 26. 7 cents to buy a cost? So it was 20. That's like cheap. That can't be right. There's no price here. This is where's the bid ask right here? Why is there no bid ask on it? I don't look real. But the idea is to try to pick away at some of these options that have like 12, 10 cents, 5 cents, 20 cents to buy. That should be a good noticeable handle above the strike price on the close if you want to for like a risk reward gamble for what has a little bit of a higher chance than normal for things like a 10% move, 15, 20% move. But while we're at it, let's just take a look at, because I believe over the next like 3 months, give yourself some extra time. So if silver makes it to, and I think it could hit $50 even as a possibility, which at SLV would be like 40 something. So what would a $40 strike price be worth? See, there you go, 12 and 14 cents. If that's the price. I mean, these are just effed up prices. But that's the idea for me is, okay, I think it can go, like, if it goes like 43, 44, 45, now you're several dollars above your strike, and you spend pennies on it. It's like taking a 20-cent stock and turning it into like $3, $4, $5 kind of deal. And then you could just sell you could just sell it on the market before any time when it's a good time, profitable time to sell, and just never take the options and just sell it before the close if there's any value to it. And of course, you could be dead wrong, and this thing could just go from like, you'd be doing something like the 12-11, where you pay 12 to buy, 11 to sell, and the next thing you know, a few days later, it's like 8 and 7. Now you sell it for 7 cents for a loss, and and you just a lot of times end up holding it. Then it's like a 1-0 maybe. You can't even sell it on the market. There's no one that would buy it off you, kind of deal. There's no orders in there for you. So that is ways of playing such a ball game. But I really do like the bullish setup for silver moving into today's session. Let me just take a little ratio just because I can and I know how. Oh my goodness, Theta moving up some more. Sweet deal. Let's go on this here. Yeah, I'm just getting above this Fibonacci. Yada, yada, yada. Why not? Something to do. Nice, concise move. Short-term Fibonacci's big from this low to whatever this high happens to be. Must hold area short-term. All that type of stuff is totally in play. But hey, Theta's live right now in a good spot. And if we don't find resistance here, yeah, these levels I talked about going into the 5 figures against Bitcoin, like $1.75 if it's not resistance. That can be some interesting things. So where's the ratio? XAG. Gold, silver. Right here. Down 2.39% today. I mean, this is a bear market excitation setup in here. As it playing around with this general area. It's been in a range-bound market above and below this line. Pretty much around 82 is the high. And support is 69 low change, and it's not far from there now. So weakness amongst the lows, looking like it's breaking down. Key support, let's just take a look at this just because I can. 69.75 is the low. And the high is 74.07, 74.13. So the key numbers on the down, so I'm just going to look at 71.39 and 70.76. And it's in between those numbers now. 71.40. And that's where it gapped into on today's session. And then 70.76. Well, that's making its move there. That's where it told me it's going towards. So, I mean, if there's going to be any technical analysis that works within Fibonacci here, then this tells me that as I'm doing this at 8:48 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm almost done this video, that moving forward over the next several hours, we should have a concise move that takes us down to this level. And overall, amongst the gold to silver ratio, breaking down below the 18 lows, I'm not really all that surprised. But weekly time frame, this is a deadly bad setup for gold here against silver. Good setup for silver against gold. Big down move that occurred. I'm not going to call it capitulation, just whatever verbiage you want to use for a monstrous move. It resists where it came from as previous support from the summer and fall lows of 2019. Thus, the same time frame resisting it here. And as it came down to the 18 lows on the December 14th week, it has just been continuing to stay below it, holding and staying now for its second. It's now starting its second week below it, and it's doing so at this previous level of support like this. I'm now expecting resistance to come in on the short runner this week at 75.79 if there's going to be any at this point without any falling. But I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks down below this. So this would tell me there's a damn good chance we see a situation where we have like a week where like silver's up like 18% and gold's up like 4 or 5 or 6. And on the monthly chart, same sort of negative bearish sentiment in here. I don't have access to the monthly term time frame on here, but that would be a very important, interesting one where price action would be entering the 18 in here. But you don't support the lows, significant break below, then you resist the lows, and we're exitation of it, leaving it as it is. A couple weeks of it just hanging, or a couple months rather, of it just hanging in there before December, but the ratio is down 9.5% right now. And I fully expect that as I see it going down to 67.16 and below, that to me is a statement that it's en route to the ratio of 53.85. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.